Could a brother check the feed?
Let me see here. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Yep. Let's see. Yep.
We good?
Yep.
Khan, shalom, shalom.
Yep.
Anakna waha barsha Allah hawlakim la tham. Call Shabuai Bahar Kha wa Kakshaw Yahweh Bahasham Yahusham Ba'amat, which is truly hey with the Hebrew Israelites coming to you week in and week out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham Yahusham to preach to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian Haitians, and Israelite foreigners. Nacham Matam Kayah Malak Watashamayim Korab, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. First and foremost, before we get started, we're going to say call Layim La Yahweh Bahasham a double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us the truth and rule well, and much respect to you bros out there pushing this truth with all righteousness and sincerity. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Pretty much today, we're going into Kemet, which is Ham, because it comes from Ham. You know, Kemet, the philosophy comes from the ideals of Ham. You know, and it's nothing more than a idol. You know, a false philosophy. So we can go ahead and start with that definition. With the definition for Kemet. Well, actually, I'm gonna read it, and then I'm gonna get you to get that the definition, Quanawaf, and then Debar, you can read yours. But this is the definition for Kemet. It says they say because of the rich soil, which rich soil is dark. You know, because Ham was pretty much dark. Ham, which Ham goes into heat. You know, but then if you apply heat to something, it's dark. You know, but again, they say. Scholars will say that pretty much it comes from you know, the darkness of the soil in that particular area, which was Egypt. All right. It says, however, Kemet comes from Egypt, Matazarium. All right, it's referred to previously as Matazarium, which is Egypt, and Matazarium, Mizraim in the scriptures. He was the son of Ham. All right. Then it says that's pretty much where you get Kemet from. All right, because when you look at the main letters of it, it's KMT. All right, they pretty much added the T, but it comes from Ham, so it's in the same phonetic sound. All right, so we can go ahead and get that definition, Quanawaf, in the blue letter.
Wow. So this is Ham in the blue letter, Strong's H2526. It reads, Hot, the second son of Noah, father of Canaan, and of various peoples which were inhabitants of southern lands, in late usage, a collective name for Egyptians.
Egyptians, Matazarium, all right, Mizraim, all right, and Ham, which means hot, but then also to reiterate, it means to be burnt. So that's pretty much where they got the term Kemet from. All right, it stems from that. And with the Egyptians, they had maybe like 1,000, like you know, which I'm just kind of using satire, but pretty much they had like 1,000 gods, you know, so called.
Mm-hmm.
All right, which
Yeah.
pretty much a lot of those you know, false deities that they had, they pretty much apply what the Lord does to their particular so-called religion. And just to prove that, let's get Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7. It says, be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. And I just want to bring that out because, you know, like you got different religions like Hinduism and like Buddhism. They'll say like what goes around comes around, so to speak. So a lot of times they'll apply the glory of the Lord to their particular religion, and they'll get their stuff from the scriptures, which pretty much is what Kemet did, you know. And then like if they like the Canaanites, you know, they was worshiping the moon god, or a so-called moon deity, which was Yerakwa. That's why Jericho has the name that it has, because pretty much they were serving a idol, you know.
That's right. God, you know, sitting out here worshiping all these false gods. You got one god that they worship, you know, where you know, some bug out, you know, bust off into an alligator, and you know, that's how mankind came about going off. You see that? That is not, there's nowhere in the scriptures. See?
Right.
And I want to grab a quick precept. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 11, verse 7. It reads, against any children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that they may know that the Most High do put a difference, you see that, between the Egyptians and Israel. You see that? So the Lord, right, he knows uh, the difference between the Israelites and also the heathens, man. You see that? So you damn Israelites out there still celebrating, Kemet and all that crap, man. If you read the scriptures, all the heathens, they're going into slavery, man.
Right.
You see, so a lot of you individuals that's out there into this Kemet is dead, man. All right, they're going to no prophecies or anything like that. You see, and I want to grab. Okay, I just want to grab a definition for the word ham.
Colin, if I can mention your point.
No, you got it, brother. You got it.
You still got Jake's. Jake still feel like, they are part of that Kemet madness. So the Lord said he put a difference between the Egyptians and then his own people, roughly paraphrasing. So we can see through the spirit that we're the children of Yasha Allah. All right, Banyam Shah Yasha Allah, the children of Israel. We can see that we was those people back in those times. That particular philosophy it originated with Ham. With the Egyptians.
That's right.
You gotta get the definition for Ham.
Come on. This is the definition for the word ham coming out of the Combat Zondervan's Bible Dictionary, and it says the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark-skinned race, not the Negroes,
right,
but the Egyptians.
Kham, going back to pretty much Kemet, that dark skin, because going into the definition, it was heat or hot, and Kham also goes into warm, but then it also goes into burnt. All right, and when you burn something, pretty much it's dark, and the Hamites, they're dark skinned race. All right, and going back to the brother Jabbar's point, pretty much the Lord put a difference spiritually and physically with Ham and the Israelites. I want to get this quick one on. This is Yeshaya, Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 8. It says, I am the Lord, that is my name. All right. Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah. And my glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images. And pretty much the Jakes has doing that. They giving the Lord's praise to another because, the Lord is the one that carries out the judgments in the earth. All right. And by giving credit to an idol, you taking away the praise from the Lord,
That's right.
I got a quick
one for you. So the Lord. You got it, follow.
Because the brother hold Deuteronomy 18 and 9, and we'll read through 14. But this is Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 1, because as the brothers have mentioned, there was a separation, a line of delineation between the Israelites and the Canaanites, man, right? And this is showing you that all that Kemet nonsense is the Lord especially forbid, man, right? All the ways of the Canaanites, right? All the ways of Ham, the Philistines and all those other, like manner customs, man, right? It says here, Deuteronomy 7 and 1, when the Lord thy power shall bring thee into the land, whether thou goest to possess it, and hast cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. And that's what we're seeing right now, right? Jake going after that Kemet philosophy madness, man. It says, so will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. So this is how we're supposed to approach. This is how what we've been commanded to do. to these false philosophies and these false idols, right? And Kemet just being one of them,
Con. Could a
Con.
brother could a brother get Psalms 105 and 23 down to 27? I got Psalm 78 and 51. Could another brother get Konoaf, could you get Genesis 10 and 6, Baba Shah?
God.
But
Did
this
you
is
still want me to read that? Slock it.
We'll
Slock it,
get
brother.
these and then we'll get the brother's precepts and you can go back to that.
Okay.
please read some.
Deuteronomy, but I mean it'll come back around because it's just time.
Yeah, it'll come back.
Okay, con.
Yeah.
All right.
Con.
My bad. This is
What was the second? What was the second precept you called for, brother?
Psalms 105 and verse 23, and another brother get Genesis 10 and 6.
Psalm 105.
I'm gonna read this real fast though. This is the Hoyam Psalm chapter 78, and we'll get verse 51. It says, and smote all the firstborn in Egypt, Miriam, the chief of their strength, in the tabernacles of Ham, proving that Ham was one of the sons of Egypt. Miriam was one of the sons of Ham, because that was the land of Ham. All right, because they were descendants of Ham. We can go get that Psalms 105.
Con. And you can start at verse 23.
Kind of 23 down to 27.
Yes, sir. This is the book of Psalm chapter 105, verse 23, and it reads, Israel also came into Egypt, and Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham. And he increased his people greatly and made them stronger than their enemies. He turned their heart to hate his people, to deal subtly with his servants. He sent Moses, his servant, and Aaron, whom he had chosen.
Because Moses and Aaron was pretty much set up, to be the leaders of the nation of Yasha'Allah. And then it says, he turned their heart to hate his people, to deal subtly with his servants. Could you go into that word subtly, Baba Shah? Pretty much, we had to be delivered out of the land of Egypt, which we're going to be delivered out of spiritual Egypt in these days to come. Out of Artazak, avoid those men. But pretty much the Egyptians hated the nation of Israel.
Give me 1 second here. 105, and that's verse 25. Yeah, verse 25. And the word is subtly, and it goes, let me see here, and it's to deal subtly, it's H5230, and the definition is to be deceitful, be crafty, be cannavinish, to deceiver, to beguile,
my bad. Pretty much, we know that the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart. So we know from Bon Sirach chapter 10 that the spirit of the one that's in rulership, pretty much the subordinates take on that same spirit. So this is pretty much how it was treated in Egypt. And going back to their philosophies, they strongly held to those philosophies. The philosophies of Egyptology, Kemet, So this is nothing more than the ideology of our enemies,
That's right.
We keep going.
Psalm chapter 105, I'll read verse 26 again. And it reads, he sent Moses, his servant, and Aaron, whom he had chosen, and shewed his signs among them and wonders in the land of Ham.
The land of Ham, pretty much showing you that Egypt, he was a son of Ham. He descended from Ham, so that's the land of Ham. All right, and then further driving home the point, could we get that Genesis 10 and 6, Baba Shah?
This is the book of Genesis chapter 10 and verse 6. It reads, the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Phut, and Canaan.
So the sons of Ham was Cush, Awash, Matazarian, which is Egypt, and it said Put, which is Pawat. All right, so Matazarian being Egypt, that was a son of Ham. So Egypt is the land of Ham, you see, because they descended from Ham. All right, the lands that they dwelt in is the land of Ham, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But just wanted to go into that point, you know. We pretty much
I
going
got
to
a quick precept if I
you got
may. This is the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 1. It reads, Hear this, the word, hear this, the word that the Lord spake against you, O house of Israel. You see that? So we know right then and there, right, that the Lord has always been dealing with the Israelites. He hasn't been dealing with Ham. You see that? Let me see. Because again, when Noah had the three boys, who was the chosen man? Shem. You see that? Not Ham and not Japheth. All right, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt. You see that? So the Lord brought who out from the land of Egypt? The Israelites.
right.
Verse 2, and it says, You only have I known of all the families of the earth. You see that? So the Lord has always known just the Israelites. Therefore will I punish you for all your iniquities. You see, so this is how we know that the Lord is dealing with us, because scriptures say what? Whom the Lord loveth, he chastens. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
So this, these things, or the curses, they pertain to the Israelites, no other nation, man. You see, so just further nailing the point home, right? The Lord has always been dealing with the Israelites, not Ham and Kemet and all that.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
Got it, brother.
Okay. I got a quick one too.
And during that chastening, you know, the Lord put the curses on us, you know. So while Jake, you know, is going through the curses, you know, he's subscribing to these different idols, and like you mentioned, you know, pretty much that's not the answer, you know. Could we
That's
get
right.
we can go ahead and transition into
I did
Isaiah
have
4.
another one real quick, if I
Kai, you
could.
got it.
Um, this is Ezekiel chapter 16 and verse 26. It says, Thou hast committed fornication with the Egyptians, thy neighbors, great of flesh, and hast increased thy whoredoms to provoke me to anger. Behold, therefore I have stretched out my hand over thee, and have diminished thine ordinary food, and delivered thee unto the will of them that hate thee, the daughters of the Philistines, which are ashamed of thy lewd way. Right? So just laying back and off the brothers going into, you know, we've picked up, those customs of the Egyptians, man. Right? Jake was fully immersed in that Egyptian way, and we're seeing that same spirit, bubbling back up in Jake today, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Um,
Come.
uh,
Beautiful.
it's a precept. It says, "Bel is confounded." Bros know where
Let's see.
that is.
I can find it. Let me see.
And Quanah, what was the precept you just wrote? Or you just went into?
Ezekiel 16 and 26.
The water.
Sorry.
Give me 1
Because
second.
pretty much, you know, we're seeing in these days right now that these idols, you know, they're these idols and these false prophets are silent. They're not really speaking on anything. What is? I mean, I don't know of any, you know, so-called Egyptian gods, but what are the Egyptian gods saying right now? You know, what exactly is everybody supposed to be doing for for the Karagma? You know, the scriptures say that the scripture has no other mate. You know, so they're not saying anything. You know, they're not saying anything in these days right now for what their followers is pretty much supposed to do. You know,
That's right. I found that precept, brother.
kind
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50. I'm going to start at the top, verse 1. It reads, The word that the Lord spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldees by Jeremiah the prophet. Declare ye among the nations, and publish and set up in a standard.
mm-hmm.
Publish and conceal not, saying, Babylon is taken, Baal is confounded.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Midrock is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded. Her images are broken in
Kind,
pieces.
could you get Quanah, could you get Isaiah 19 and verse 1?
This This is Isaiah.
Yeah, you got.
Isaiah 19 and verse 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the
So
heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of
the
it.
the heart of Egypt shall melt at his presence. So pretty much the idols is being moved. All right, when you go into that word moved, it pretty much means to be overthrown or to be shaken. So it pretty much is no stability in these idols, these different idols, because we go to Matthew chapter 7, it talks about how the elect will have that stability to stand on that rock. All right, and going back to the precept that the brother the bar brought out, it said Bel is confounded. All right, these idols are confounded, and they're not offering any anything to for their followers to follow after. There's no stability in it. And just to prove that point, could a brother get Habakkuk chapter 2, and I believe it's verse 16, around verse 16.
God. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2. And I'm gonna read I started verse 15. It reads, woe to him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drink also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned into thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory.
Going into Esau, shameful spewing is on his glory. The stuff that he took pride in, it's being ashamed to him now. He's being exposed, and everybody sees, his wickedness. Everybody sees that pretty much his playbook.
Right. Hey, that's
That's
going
right.
into that burden, When you go into that word burden, it talks about, something that's, a great weight or a great sign of stress, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they, we see them moving the way they are because they're in great distress right now because they see, everything that they used to, put their strength and put their pride into is starting to fall and starting to fail, man.
Right.
That's right.
We can
That's
keep
right.
going. Habakkuk.
God. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, and I'm going to read verse 17. It reads, for the violence of Lebanon shall cover thee, and the spoil of the beast, which made them afraid because of the men's blood,
Mm-hmm.
and for the violence of the land, of the city, Shlaki, and of all them that dwell therein.
Right.
What verse 8, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 18, here's the point. What profit the graven images that the maker thereof have graven it?
God.
The
So
multi
what it said what prophet thereof that the graven. Stop. Right. Can you run it back the beginning part?
God. Yes, sir. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 18. It reads, what profited the graven images? What profit the graven images that the maker thereof have graven it?
So why exactly that these makers of these idols make the idol, what benefit is it gonna have? What avail is it gonna have? Because when we go into the scriptures, Isaiah 34 and 16, the scripture doesn't have another mate. So pretty much it was made in vain. It doesn't have any benefit, it doesn't have any purpose.
That's right. Continuing on, it says the molten images and the teacher of lies, that the maker of his work trusteth therein to make dumb idols.
To make dumb idols. Could we go into the word for dumb, Baba Kushar?
God, let's see it. God, give me 1 second here. What's that? Habakkuk. Let's see here. Habakkuk chapter 2, and it was verse 18.
I believe so.
Let's see. God. And the word for dumb. Let me see here. Let me see. It's H 483, and it says mute, silent, dumb, unable to speak.
To make dumb idols. All right. So what is idols and false prophets have in common? They're both not speaking in these times right now. They're not telling their congregation what they should be doing in these times. Should you take the Jews? Should you enlist into the U.S. military? Should you take the Karagma? They're not going into these topics. It's no avail. The scriptures call these false prophets dumb dogs. A dog's job is to alert you when something is going on. These prophets, these false prophets, they're telling you what you should do in these times, and then these idols, they're not speaking to you either. JC isn't telling you anything to do right now. He's telling you, hey, survive in America, Babylon the Great. Do what you do. But when you come on Sunday, hey, look good and just be happy when we play this music. That's
Make
all
sure
he's
you got that money.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a quick one. Psalm 96 and verse 4. For the Lord is great and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods. For all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord made the heavens. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going through that word idols real quick. It says here, Strong's H5 or 457. It says, of not good for nothing,
Right.
worthless. So it says vain or vanity, especially an idol, no value, a thing of naught. Right. So that's what the brother is saying. Right. All these idols, all these philosophies, and then even tying into these false prophets, they're of naught, they're vain, right? They're worthless. They have no value because they're not teaching you the prophecies, right? They're not warning you of the things to come, right? All these things that you see, that people put their focus in, and the things that these people worship, are ultimately worthless, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
We can go ahead hop into Isaiah 44.
God, I got a quick precept, if I may.
I'm at the bathroom
This
first.
is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, and I'm gonna start at verse 29. It reads, "For in so much as their trust in idols, right, which have no life, you see, so you individuals out there that worshiping these false idols, guess what? They have no life, man. Right? Going back to the word dumb, you see that? Speechless, unable to speak. Though they swear falsely, yet they look not to be hurt. Howbeit, both causes shall they be justly punished, both because they thought not well of the Most High, giving heed unto idols, and also unjustly swore in deceit, despising holiness." You see that? So you individuals that's out there, celebrating false God, worshiping these idols, right? These going back to the word again, dumb, right? To be mute, right? Can't go into no prophecies, right? You're ultimately going to be destroyed because you trust in these false idols, man. You see?
God, hey,
What was the
one of the
precept?
brothers.
You
Grab
got
that
it, brother.
Deuteronomy 19 about Kushah,
Yes, sir.
because
Yeah, that's the
because
spirit.
just talking about how Jacob's been instructed to avoid these pagan practices, man, because that's what all these idols go back to. Going back to
God,
the top of the lesson, going into this Kemetic nonsense, right? But all the ways of Canaan are ways that we've been told to avoid because we're seeing those things being brought back, in modern society, man.
that's right. What was that? Deuteronomy 19 and what?
I think nine to hold on, let me see. I want to say 14.
God. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 19, verse 9. It reads, "If thou shalt keep all these commandments to do them, which I
18
command thee
verse 9.
this day."
18 9.
Kind of 18 and 9. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18, verse 9. Slocky for that, brother. And it reads, "When thou art come into the holy land, which the Lord thy power giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations." Ooh, yeah. It's self-explanatory, man. All right, you shouldn't be worshiping false idols. You see, worshiping false gods, man. Going after the way, because Scripture tell you what in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 1 through 2. worship not after the ways of the heathen, man.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You see, so all you guys out there, celebrating, Kemet and all of that, right? You going off and you can't go into no prophecies, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
This
you
is
can
why you
keep
send
reading on.
individuals out there need to pray and repent, man, and come out of your foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
See, Jacob, Baba Kushar, could you go back to the Habakkuk? Because Jacob followed
Come,
these idols because it looked good, like the scripture go into, to the in the carnal sense, it looked good to Jake, you know,
Right.
but spiritually it's not beneficial. That's why I said it said to make dumb idols. It's not beneficial because
mhm.
it's not actually telling you what you should be doing, you know.
Right.
That's right. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 19, and it reads, "Woe to him that saith to wood, awake, to the dumb stone, arise. It shall teach. Behold, it is overlaid with gold and silver, and there
Mm-hmm.
is no breath at all in the midst of it."
So it said it is laid over with gold and silver. Hey, so it looks good. Like the calf Jake pretty much made when we was coming out of Egypt. Hey, it looked good, but is it ultimately good for you spiritually? No, you know. And
Mhm.
it says laid over with silver and gold. It's no breath at all in the midst of it, because it's no understanding. So something may like it's saying in the world, just because everything that glitters ain't gold, it's not ultimately worth following, because going back to Quahalat Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13, who was made to serve the Lord, see, because that's actually beneficial to us as a people. We was made to serve the Lord. It's like these heathen may be able to do that. We ultimately was able to, we was made pretty much to serve the Lord, you know.
Mhm.
That's right. I got a quick one, real, topic sharp, This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15, and I'm gonna start at verse 4. And it reads, talk about two-thirds of our people worshiping idols, man. For neither did the mischievous intentions of men deceive us, nor an imagine spotted with diverse colors, the painter's fruitfulness labor, the sight thereon entice fools to lust after it. And so they did desire the form of the dead image that have no breath.
Mm-hmm.
Both they that make them, they that desire them, and they that worship them are lovers of evil things and are worthy to have such things to trust upon. You see that? So you individuals that's worshiping false God, I like the colors, or I like the way they do this and all that, right? Just like how these images are dead, all right, you're also dead too. And you're evil, man. All right. This is why we should only do what? Worship Yahweh. You see that? And also the only begotten son, Yahweh Shai.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Pretty
You got
much going to like Jake getting trapped in those things. Jake could see, the flashy colors, or they got, even those amongst the circumcision, they'll see the flashy colors. Everybody got the same uniform on. So they feel like, they should join those particular congregations, but they're not ultimately coming after the spirit of the scriptures. Because the scriptures say to pretty much try the spirit. Not just
try.
because a particular group they look a certain way, or they talk nice, because that's the spirit
Right.
that false prophets come in. They gonna tell you those alluring things, that capture the captivating type of statements.
Mhm.
We go ahead and hop into
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah 44, Baba Kushar.
Start from the
Try.
top.
Yeah, from the top, we'll go to verse 20.
Okay. It's Isaiah 44, verse 1. Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus saith the Lord that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou Jeshurun, whom I have chosen.
Mm-hmm.
For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and the floods upon the dry ground. I will pour my spirit upon thy seed, and my blessing upon thine offspring.
Because pretty much, Jake feel like, Jake feel like 2/3 of Jake, or those particular groups, they feel like uh, the way that they going in is pretty much the way that they should be going in. Proverbs 14:12, the way of a man seemeth right unto him, roughly paraphrasing. But the Lord said, hey, right here in Isaiah 44:3, he's going to be the one that pours the water, that gives the understanding, and the understanding is coming from the men of the Lord, from Apostle Tuhar on down, and those likewise doctrine. Not just because you see a group and hey, they look like they uniform, they come in with fashion, you know. We keep going.
God, Isaiah 44:4. And they shall spring up as the grass, as willows by the watercourses. One shall say, I am the Lord's, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob, and another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Lord, and surname himself by the name of Israel.
By the name of Yasha Allah. So, all right, we have that taking place now. All right, due to prophecy, pretty much, you have the elect standing back up on their feet. All right, and the elect is calling themselves by the name of Yahweh. All right, Yasha Allah. Pretty much return to their heritage, because the scripture said, pretty much in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves, and that's what we see starting to take place. That's what we see in the camps pop up.
Sorry. Verse 7.
I got
And,
slop. Go ahead, brother.
Go ahead. That was like,
I got just a quick one just to back. Yes, sir. A quick one just to back you up. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 24. I'm gonna start at verse 29. This is one of Elder's favorites. It reads, "For her thoughts," talk about who? Wisdom, man. "For her thoughts are more than the sea, and her counsels profounder than the great depth." Verse 30. I also came out as a brook from a river, and as a conduit unto a garden, and said, I will water my best garden, and will water abundantly my garden bed. Lo, my brook became a river, and my river became the sea. You see that? And this knowledge, this wisdom, truth, knowledge, and understanding is starting to grow up, man. Just like the grass, continuing on, it says, verse 32, I will yet make doctrine to shine as the morning, and will send forth her light after afar off. I will yet pour out doctrine as prophecy, and leave it to all ages forever. You see that? So just nailing the point home, going to what the brothers are reading in the book of Isaiah chapter 44, man. Right? This wisdom, this knowledge, this truth, and this understanding, it's coming out, man. All right, and there are certain people that are waking up to this truth. You see? So I just wanted to, back up that point in Isaiah 44. You got it, brother.
God, this is Isaiah 44 and verse 7. And who as I shall call, and shall declare it, and set it in order for me, since I appointed the ancient people, and the things that are coming and shall come, let them show unto them.
I got
a go.
This is Isaiah 41, and we'll get verse 21. It reads, it says, produce your cause, because it says, and the things that are coming and shall come, let them shoot unto them. So, we understand that, the men of the Lord have been sitting here to prophesy, you see, but what about the, the false prophets and these different idols? This is Isaiah 41 and verse 21. It says, produce your cause, saith the Lord. Bring forth your strong reasons, saith the King of Jacob. Let them bring them forth, and shew us what shall happen. Let them shew the former things, what they be, that we may consider them, and know the latter end of them, or declare us the things for to come. Shew the things that are to come hereafter, that we may know that ye are gods, yet do good or do evil, that we may be dismayed or behold it together. Behold, ye are of nothing, and your work of naught. An abomination is he that chooseth you. All right, so pretty much, all right, the Lord is asking a rhetorical question, because these false prophets, these idols, they don't have any answers. All right, because pretty much what they're standing on isn't stable. So they're not going to give a answer a truthful answer, to the things that's happening in prophecy.
Right.
Right.
God. Continuing on. Isaiah 44 and verse 8. Fear ye not, neither be afraid. Have not I told thee from that time, and have declared it? Ye are even my witnesses. Is there a power beside me? Yea, there is no power, I know not any.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 9. They that make graven images, all of them vanity, and their delectable things shall not profit. And they are their own witnesses. They see not nor know that they may be ashamed.
Mm-hmm. So it said delectable things. So I'm reading. It says they that make graven image are all of them vanity. All right, going back to the definition that the brother Cornwall brought out, worthless, which I believe that word goes back to. Um, could you get that the word for idol, Baba
God,
Kushab?
I can grab it real quick. Let's
God.
see. Isaiah 44. And that was verse let me see, that was verse 9. No,
I
no,
don't,
Schlag, it was verse 10.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it's in. I don't think it's all good. But I'm gonna read it back. It says,
Oh,
"They that make a graven image are all of them vanity, and their delectable things shall not profit." All right, going back to Habakkuk chapter 2, it said, what profit of the graven image? All right, so what benefit does it have? But right here it says it's not going to profit. So that's pretty much the answer. It's not going to profit anything. That's why the scripture, when you go into that particular word in the Hebrew, Bahalash Kodash, in the Holy Tongue, pretty much it tells you it's worthless, it's good for nothing.
right.
We can go to verse 10.
God. Isaiah 44 and 10. Who hath formed a god, or molten a graven image that is profitable for nothing?
Tell you
So
right
going into
there.
that word idol. Yeah, exactly. I think that word we have brought it out. It goes into being vain or worthless, without
Hmm.
value.
Right.
It says, "Behold, all his fellows shall be ashamed, and the workmen it's like they are of men. Let them be, let them all be gathered together. Let them stand up. Yet they shall fear, and they shall be ashamed together.
Hmm.
The, the smith with the tongs both worketh in the coals, and fashioneth it with hammers, and worketh it with the strength of his arms.
I
Yea,
got
yeah, mhm,
oh yeah, I got a quick one. This is Isaiah Yeshaya chapter 42 and verse 17. It says, "They shall be turned back, they shall be greatly ashamed that trust in graven images, that say to molten images, ye are our gods." All right, so pretty much those that trust into idols, they're gonna be greatly ashamed. All right, did we not see what happened? It was calling the that test or the quiz with the jab. It was calling that a quiz, but a lot of people went down there and went to get it, and that's because they was trusting in the idol, and we saw how they was ashamed. You know.
mhm, that's it.
mhm.
Continuing on, it reads, Yea, he is hungry, and his strength faileth. He drinketh no water, and is faint. The carpenter stretcheth out his rule, he marketh it out with a line. He fitteth it with planes, and he marketh it out with the compass, and maketh it after the figure of a man, according to the beauty of a man, that it may remain in the house.
And we saw JC. They put it. In 2/3 of JC is all up on the walls. You know, scriptures say they
Yeah.
they they tried with the best diligence to pretty much make that image of JC with the blue face, or it's like the blue eyes, the pale face, and the blonde hair.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
right.
they got the statues, they got the candles, they
Hmm.
got the tattoos, they got the little Jesus piece chains,
Right.
you know. Continuing on, it says here in verse 14, he heweth him down cedars, and taketh the cypress and the oak, which
Con.
he
So,
strengtheneth.
So it says he heweth him down cedars. Hey, so he went great measures because it's hard, you know what I'm saying? Because the scriptures say that pretty much the cedar trees, they're like super expensive. So he went to go and get the best, the best wood that he can find in order to make an idol. And this is the measures that those that make those idols will go to, and they're profitable for nothing, you know.
Because as we had went into, earlier this week, the cedar was used. It was a holy wood, right? It was used in the making of the temples, right? So Jake is pretty much putting that holy reverence, into these idols, man.
Mm-hmm.
It says, verse 14 again, he heweth down cedars and taketh the cypress and the oak, which he strengtheneth for himself among the trees of the forest. He planteth an ash, and the rain doth nourish it. Then it shall be for a man to burn, for he will take thereof, and warm himself. Yea, he kindleth it, and baketh bread. Yea, he maketh a god, and worshippeth it. He maketh a graven image, and falleth down thereto.
Mm-hmm.
He burneth part thereof in fire, with part thereof he eateth flesh. He roasteth roast, and is satisfied. Yea, he warmeth himself, and saith, Aha, I am warm, I have seen the fire.
I got a quick one. This is Isaiah Yeshaya chapter 45. We'll get verse 20. It says, assemble yourselves and come, draw near together. Yea, there are escape of the nations. They have no knowledge that set up wood of their graven image and pray unto a God that cannot save. Going back to what you mentioned in verse 15, it says, he maketh it a graven image and falleth down there too. So pretty much they're doing this, you see, and going back to the point that we're pretty much driving home, they doing all of this for nothing. It's good for nothing. It's not going to save. It's not going to deliver them from the captivity. All right, how do we know this? We see around about, which I'm putting out a number out there, like the 1500s. Jake has always been praying to JC. All right, it's what now 2023. And the same stuff has been going on. And that's because there's no salvation in those names. We see that in Proverbs 30 and 4. We see that in Acts 4 and 12, if I'm not mistaken. The salvation comes in the names of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah. All right, not in these different idols. All right, that's why the scriptures say that they're worthless, or they're not worth anything.
That's right. And if I may add, brother Yuam, can you continue reading in that? Can you read the next verse?
45.
Let me see. What was that? Isaiah 45. Can you read the next verse, Baba Shah?
This is Isaiah 45 and 21. It says, tell yea and bring them near. Yeah, let them take counsel together. Who hath declared this from ancient time? Who hath told it from that time? Have not I the Lord? And there is no God else beside me. A just
That's
power
right.
and a savior. There is none beside me.
That's right. So that's the point. All right. False gods profit you not in the days to come, man. And they haven't profited you in the past. They're not going to profit you now. You see that? So, there's only one power that's mighty to save, man. Yahweh. You see that? So no other false god, right? It's real. As a matter of fact, when you read, what's that? I think that's 2 Samuel. How it talks in the NLT, how it talks about no other God is with me, right? So the Lord is only one power, man, that's willing to save, man, and that's going to deliver. No false God, no graven, no molten images, no fake white man Jesus, no Buddha, no Santa Maria, no Allah, none of that, man. All right, it's only Yahweh. You see the water, brother.
God, we keep going to Isaiah.
God, this is Isaiah 44 and verse 17. And the residue thereof he maketh a god, even his graven image. He falleth down unto it, and worshippeth it, and prayeth unto it, and saith, Deliver me, for thou art my God.
You got Jakes that subscribe to it. When the curses say, no man shall fray thee, or yeah, no man shall fray thee, no man shall deliver thee out of your predicament, roughly paraphrasing, you know. So Jake actually trusts in these idols, you know.
Hmm. But that's what
That's
you
right.
see. You know, people saying what? They're saying, "Deliver me," JC, "Deliver me, Buddha,"
Mm-hmm.
right? "Deliver me, Vishnu or Shiva."
Mm-hmm.
"Deliver me, the
Allah.
jabs," right? Yeah, Allah, right?
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, people are gonna be saying, "Deliver me," the MOTB, man,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Because these are all idols, man. These are all false gods that people are gonna be bowing the knee to and praying to, man.
Right.
that's
We,
right.
Continuing
I
on.
got a
hey,
quick one.
Okay,
you
go
got
for it.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. Going back to the curses, since you brought it out, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse let me see here. Where it talks about wood and stone. Is that 28? No, it's
that's 28.
Slakia.
28.
Con, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. No, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 36, and it reads, "The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which is King David, which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone." You see
Mm-hmm.
that? So just going back to the curse, that's why you see our people in a condition at the end of the day, worshiping everything else, right, except the God of the Bible.
And
Okay.
it don't just stop there. You know, you got Jake that uphold when you go to second Maccabees and first Maccabees, it talks about how pretty much Jake was upholding the game of discus. All right, not only this,
Mhm.
Jake is upholding basketball. You know, they got a saying like basketball is life, you know, boxing is life, track is life. Jake will uphold folly versus serving the Lord, you know.
Yep.
That's right.
Even these entertainers, right? They
Mm-hmm.
look at them as idols, right? They use money, as a false god, right? So they're gonna be, calling for deliverance from all these things, but
Mm-hmm.
they'll receive no answer, man.
And on the same token, you know, Jake could uphold, you know, these different sports and stuff like that and the, you know, entertainment. And at the same time, you know, Jake could use that as a means to pretty much forward their own enterprise and get them out of the curses. You know,
Hmm.
they feel like they can escape from the like the pitfall, or not the pitfalls, but pretty much the curses written in the scriptures. You know, but ultimately it doesn't deliver them from their situation. You know.
Right. That's it. Continuing on, Isaiah 44:18, and my sword reads, "A deceived heart," right? Because Jake has been deceived, by these false philosophies and idols, man. It reads, "They have not known nor understood, for he hath shut their eyes that they cannot see, and their hearts that they cannot understand.
Mm-hmm.
And none considereth in his heart, neither is there any knowledge or understanding to say, I have burned part of it in the fire, yea, I have baked bread upon the coals thereof, I have roasted flesh and eaten it, and shall I make the residue thereof an abomination? Shall I fall down to the stock of a tree?"
So nobody is considering, hey, you know, the scriptures say this. All right, this is how Hamashiach look, you know. But
Right.
here it is, you know, so to speak. You know, I'm falling down to an image of JC with a pale face and blue eyes. You know, nobody considers that. Hey, you know, this is a fat Moabite. You know that they're falling down there too. You know,
Hmm.
nobody considers that. Hey, all right, this is uh, uh, the multiple so-called gods of Hinduism. Nobody considers that. All right, these are all things that's made up. You see, but those things were made up. All right, they're given the glory of what the Lord does in the earth. All right, the Lord's judgments. They're giving that to another, giving it to an idol. You know,
Hmm. Okay.
we keep going.
Isaiah 40. Okay. Isaiah 44 and verse 20. He feedeth on ashes. A deceived heart hath turned him aside, that he could not deliver his soul, nor say, Is there not a lie in my right hand?
So nobody can. 2/3 of Jake doesn't consider, hey, is there not a lie in my right hand? And why does it say my right hand? Because that's pretty much what they relying on. When you go to your right hand, that's pretty much the hand that everybody uses. That's your your power. So they're saying fully that, hey, they're relying on that right hand. That's what they totally confide in. You know.
Mhm. Uh, and if I may say,
Hmm.
um, as we were saying before we went live, right? We had Jake come up to the camp, talking about that Kemet stuff, right? And Jake is they're knowledgeable, but not according to the scriptures, right? So
Hmm.
he has a zeal, but not according to knowledge. And as we see, or I noticed his shirt, it said mentality, and what
Hmm.
what was needed was a change of mentality, you
Right.
know.
Yeah,
But he wasn't able to receive that because ultimately, he was being blocked, man.
Con.
that's right. And if I may add, a lot of see, because when you go into it deeper, all the way back during the time of all the way back during the time of Egypt, right? This is the reason why we're pretty much scattered abroad, man. The first damn place, you see that, because Jake wanted to worship false gods. As a matter of fact, when Moses came down from the mountain, all right, what the hell was Jake worshiping? After the Lord just performed all the miracles, Jake wanted to worship a golden calf. You see, I got a quick precept. I actually got
Right.
two, but I'm gonna grab one. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4. I'm gonna start at verse 27. It reads, "And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whether the Lord shall lead thee. And there ye shall serve other gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, whether neither see, it's like which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell." You see that? So this is what Jake was always into, man. Worshiping false gods that can't see, can't speak, nothing, can't prophesy, right? So this is what Jake was always into. And I got one more. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, and I'm gonna start at verse 15, and it reads, "But Jeshurun waxed fat and kick, thou art waxing fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook the Most High, right, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation." You see that? That sounds like Jake right there, man. Hard head, stiff necked people. Verse 16. "They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods, with abominations, provoking they him to anger." Verse 17. "They sacrifice unto devils, not unto the Most High, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not." You see that? So, our people, they were always into worshiping a bunch of bug outism. Just always, man, through his, and this is why the Lord, allowed us to go into captivity, right? But in the latter days, we're starting to wake up, man, right? But just like how you brothers say, when you was at mid camp, you had Jake just still walking around in this dumbified state that don't know what the hell's going on, wanting to know about Egyptology, man. Right?
Hmm.
Worshiping a false god that our fathers didn't fear at all. You got it,
Con.
brothers.
I got two to back you up, and then we go close it out. Bros ain't had nothing. This is
Come.
uh this is Jeremiah chapter 22, and we'll get verse 19. It says, "He shall be buried with the burial of an ass, drawn and cast forth beyond the gates of Jerusalem. Go up to Lebanon and cry and lift up thy voice in Bashan, and cry from the passages, for all thy lovers are destroyed. I spake unto thee in thy prosperity, but thou saidst, I will not hear. This hath been thy manner from thy youth, that thou obeyedest not my voice." And that's pretty much what you were going into, Deuteronomy 32, and I believe it's verse 15. When we was in a good estate, prosperity, you know, pretty much Jake, got comfortable and started serving them idols. I got another one.
Hey,
This
if
is
I may
Yeshua.
say,
Hmm.
just reading up in that chapter, it talks about what happens when you obey and what happens when you disobey, man. right? So the Lord is
That's right.
giving you a warning, for your obedience and disobedience. And what the brother is reading is a result of disobedience, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Hard head makes a soft ass, man. All right, want to worship trash bags and plastic. All right, gods that can't deliver you in the days to come. Right, you're gonna be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got it, brother.
This is Yeshaya, Isaiah chapter 9. And Baba Kashar, Cornwall, could you get Isaiah 9 and verse 10 in the NLT?
Okay.
All right, this is Yeshaya, Isaiah 9 and verse, we'll start at verse 7. It says, of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end upon the throne of Dawadah David and upon his kingdom to order it and establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. The Lord sent a word into Jacob, and it hath lighted upon Yasha'Allah Israel. And all the people shall know, even Apariyam Ephraim, and the inhabitant of Samaria Shemarwan, that say in the pride and stoutness of heart, the bricks are fallen down, but we will build with hewn stones. The sycamores are cut down, but we will change them into cedars. Therefore, the Lord shall set up adversaries of Rezin against him and join his enemies together. Baba Kashak, could you read that in NLT from starting from verse 9?
Okay. I'll start in 8.
Ka.
So Isaiah 9 and 8 in the NLT it reads, the Lord had spoken out against Jacob. His judgment has fallen upon Israel, and the people of Israel and Samaria, who spoke with such pride and arrogance, will soon know it, and said, we will replace the broken bricks of our ruins with finished stone, and replant the failed sycamore fig trees with cedars. For the
Mm-hmm.
Lord
And
will bring. Sorry.
cedars going to, the most expensive, this one of the most expensive types of wood. So Jake is pretty much saying like, hey, being that we was brought down, we gonna come back with something better. They're saying this going back up to verse 9. It says, and all the pride shall, and all the people shall know, even Apariyam Ephraim and the inhabitant of Samaria, that say in the pride and stoutness of heart, the bricks are fallen down, but we will build with hewn stones. The sycamores are cut down, but we will change them into cedar. So that was pretty much Jake saying in the pride of their heart that, hey, even though, the curses, all right, what the Lord is bringing upon us, all right, pretty much, they're going to come back with something better. All right, but again, Jake was saying that out of the pride of their heart. And at the same time, each time we were going to captivity, when we was in the prosperity, like I got in Jeremiah 22, Jake would have that pride. They were serving those different idols, you see, and that's why the Lord pretty much put the curses on us. You know, 2/3 always found it advantageous to go and serve idols, all right, and to serve their own pride and their own belly. You see, but we're seeing that that's not beneficial. You see, but because we were made to serve the Lord. So to reiterate, like we went into the lesson, you know, serving these idols, coming in a false spirit, that's not the way to go. Actually serving the Lord is the way to go. Could we close it out with Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13, Baba Shah?
I got one more too, and I just want to add on to that point. When you go into cedar, I don't know if you brothers ever cut cedar wood before, but it smells good. See
Mm-hmm.
that? So Jake is always attracted to things that smells good. You see, it
Mm-hmm.
tastes good and all of that. But scriptures, or not scriptures, but it's a saying out there. All that glitters is not gold, man.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so all you individuals, worshiping false gods and false idols, man. You got to remember this right here. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5. And I'm going to start at verse 6. And it reads, I am the Lord thy power, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou
Mm-hmm.
shalt thou shalt take no thou shalt not make any graven images or any likeness of anything that is in heaven or that anything on the earth beneath or that is in the waters beneath. Verse 9, thou shalt not bow thyself unto them, nor serve them, for I am the Lord your power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. You see that? So this is why, we went through everything that we going through, because Jake wanted to, Jake was attracted to the false idols, man, the false gods, the things that smelt good. You see, things that was attractive, the colors and all of that, So this is why we going through, or went through the things that we went through, because Jake wanted to, worship false gods, and the Lord said, "Don't bow down thyself unto them, man." And this is where we are today. You got it, brother.
God.
Con,
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
so fear the Most High. All right, fear, reverence. All right, do what he says. It says, fear the Most High, keep his commandments, keep Shamar, all right, observe, you know. And when you go into the word observe, Shamar, all right, it means to uphold, because that's pretty much the safety of our life, because we were made to serve the Lord. So it said, fear the Most High, keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man, all right, the whole duty of man, that man being the Israelite man, all right, those that pretty much derive from that righteous lineage. You see, that's our whole duty, to keep what's written in the scriptures. You see, so that was pretty much all I had. If bros didn't have nothing else, we'll go ahead and close it out.
God,
Yeah, I was going to just say, read the next verse.
no,
Yeah.
God, I think so. Verse
You know,
14, Ecclesiastes 12 and 14. For the Most High shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
that's right. So if you sitting out here celebrating false God, you doing it behind closed doors, that nobody can. Lord sees all things, man. Scriptures say that the eyes of the Lord are 10 times or 10 times brighter than the sun, man. All right. So if you're sitting out there still, celebrating Christmas and all of that, and you claim to be an Israelite or whatever, man. Matter of fact, Scripture tell you in the book of what's that, Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15 through 17. All you individuals, that still eat abominable foods, worshiping false gods, man, you're going to be destroyed by fire.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So the Most High is going to bring every work into judgment, man. So this is why you should fear the Most High. You got it, you want.
Con, you got anything, Quanah?
God, that was it.
Con, Lord's will, that was a beautification to the spirit. Lord's will, have a good night. Salah. We can go ahead and close it up by calling like La Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua. A double honor to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that taught us the truth and rule well, and much respect to you, bros, that are pushing this truth with all righteousness and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. Wa ababa.
Shalom. Wa ba. Shalom. That's right. Yeah, 5 lesson, brother.